Finding your true calling. Do you ever wonder why so many individuals feel empty despite achieving what society calls success? Perhaps you've met someone with an impressive degree who seems miserable, or maybe you've taken a career path that looked perfect on paper but feels wrong in your heart. The real question isn't about what accomplishments you can collect, it's about whether you're building a life that truly belongs to you. Today's narrative explores a profound truth. Genuine learning isn't about memorizing information to ace tests. It's about discovering who you are beneath all the expectations others have placed upon you. We live in a world filled with inspiring success stories, and it's tempting to think, if I just copy their formula, I'll achieve the same results. But life doesn't work like a recipe. Until you uncover your authentic passions, other people's achievements will remain like stars in the sky, beautiful to admire, but impossibly distant. Let's discover what wisdom awaits us in today's tale. The story unfolds. In a quiet countryside village nestled between rolling hills lived a young man named Jake. The community moved at its own unhurried pace, where everyone knew their neighbors and seasons dictated the rhythm of life. Jake had always been energetic and personable, but recently something had shifted. He'd become withdrawn, spending hours staring at nothing, clearly troubled. That spring, Jake completed his final school examinations, while his classmates excitedly discussed university applications and future careers. Jake remained conspicuously silent. He'd made an unconventional decision. He wouldn't be continuing his formal education, at least not immediately. This wasn't a financial issue. Jake's family owned a thriving cattle ranch spanning nearly 50 acres, making them among the most prosperous families in the region. The problem was simpler, yet more complex. Jake struggled to connect with academic subjects. Traditional classroom learning left him feeling confused and disengaged. Rather than forcing himself down a path that felt fundamentally wrong, he chose to pause and explore who he genuinely was. A father's wisdom. On a crisp morning, while helping repair fence posts, Jake finally voiced his internal struggles to his father. Michael, Jake's father, was a man known throughout the community for his thoughtful nature. Despite his middle years, he possessed a youthful understanding. Rather than expressing disappointment, he listened carefully, then smiled with knowing eyes. "Jake, I have something I'd like you to do," Michael said, pulling a weathered notebook from his pocket. He scribbled 3 names and locations. "Visit these 3 individuals. When you meet them, mention that you're the son of Iron Leg Michael. Ask them to share their journeys to success. I believe their experiences will illuminate the path you're searching for." Jake's curiosity sparked. Any activity seemed more appealing than returning to textbooks. "Dad, why do people call you Iron Leg Michael?" His smile widened mysteriously. "That's part of what you'll discover. But Jake, truly listen to their stories. I have faith that this journey will reveal what your heart has been trying to tell you." First encounter. The champion. Jake saddled his favorite mare and rode toward the first address, located about 3 kilometers east. He arrived at a modest cottage where he met Marcus, a weathered man whose living room displayed dozens of athletic trophies and championship photographs. When Jake introduced himself as the son of Iron Leg Michael, Marcus's face lit up with recognition and nostalgia. "I'd love to understand how you achieved all this," Jake gestured toward the impressive collection of awards. Marcus settled into his chair and his story began flowing. "In school, I was practically invisible academically, ranked 38th in a class of 40 students. Books and I simply didn't get along, but the track field, that was different. When I ran, everything made sense. I didn't follow a complicated strategy, I just ran. Every single morning for 5 consecutive years, regardless of weather or how I felt. The first year taught me endurance. The second year revealed my weaknesses. The third year, I discovered proper technique. By year 4, I started placing in local competitions. Year 5 brought my first regional victory. After that, momentum built. One medal led to another, then another. Marcus leaned forward, his voice carrying weight. Jake, here's what matters. Improvement happens through consistent effort in something that genuinely calls you. The subject itself is less important than your commitment to it. Jake absorbed these words, feeling something shift inside him. His next destination brought him to an elegant establishment on the village's main avenue. He was surprised to discover that this successful businessman, Christopher, owned the very restaurant his family frequented for special occasions. After Jake's introduction, Christopher welcomed him enthusiastically into his office, which overlooked a bustling kitchen. "Your father sent you to hear success stories," Christopher chuckled warmly. "Well, mine isn't what most people expect. I was ranked 39th out of 40, essentially one step from the bottom. Traditional academics felt like trying to read a foreign language, but I had two genuine loves, flavors and people. My fascination with food naturally led me to experiment in the kitchen. I started recreating dishes I enjoyed, then inventing my own. A neighbor tasted my cooking one afternoon and said, 'Christopher, you're wasting this talent. People would pay for food this good.' That comment planted a seed. My first year selling food from a small stand, I barely broke even, but passion sustained me when profit didn't. I studied flavor combinations, learned business fundamentals, discovered how to create experiences, not just meals. 5 years after that first stand, I opened a small restaurant. Now, 15 years later," he gestured toward the thriving establishment below, "this is the result." Christopher's eyes held sincerity. The formula is simpler than people think. Find what makes you lose track of time, then dedicate yourself to mastering it. Success becomes inevitable when you're genuinely engaged. Final encounter: the scholar. Jake's final visit took him to a surprisingly humble home, especially compared to the previous two successful individuals. A gentle-mannered man named Professor Edward answered the door. After pleasantries, Jake posed his now familiar question about the path to success. Professor Edward's response was unexpected. "Unlike your previous visits, I was the top student, ranked first in our class of 40. Every subject came easily to me. I absorbed information quickly and performed excellently on every examination." He paused, his expression carrying a hint of regret. "But here's what I've come to understand. Knowing a little about everything means mastering nothing. I became a generalist when the world rewards specialists. I can discuss countless topics superficially, but I never developed the deep expertise that creates true value. Don't repeat my mistake, Jake. Breadth without depth is a hollow achievement." Before Jake departed, he remembered to ask about his father. Professor Edward's face softened with admiration. "Your father, Michael, he ranked 40th, absolute last in our class, but he possessed something grades can't measure. Years ago, during a ranching accident, Michael severely injured his leg. The medical treatment required metal pins and supports, earning him the nickname Iron Leg Michael. That injury would have discouraged most people from continuing physical ranching work, but Michael's passion for cattle and land management never wavered. He started with just 6 head of cattle. Through determination, learning, and genuine love for the work, he built what's now the most respected ranch in the entire region. Your father understood early what took me decades to learn. The depth of commitment to your true calling matters infinitely more than superficial success in areas that don't resonate with your soul." The revelation. Riding home as the sun painted the sky orange and purple, Jake felt a profound clarity he'd never experienced before. The answer had been surrounding him his entire life. He loved the ranch, the animals, the land, the physical work that connected him to something real and tangible. This wasn't failure to pursue academics, this was recognizing his authentic path. Jake decided he would become a livestock specialist and ranch manager like his father, but he'd also study agricultural science and animal husbandry to bring modern knowledge to traditional practices. For the first time in months, Jake felt genuinely excited about his future. The lesson. Your destiny isn't hidden in someone else's story. It lives within you, waiting for you to acknowledge it. Society will offer countless templates for successful living, but wearing someone else's dream will always feel like an ill-fitting costume. Until you honor your authentic interests, you'll remain a spectator in your own life. This is your moment. Identify what genuinely captivates you, not what looks impressive, not what others recommend, but what makes you forget to check the time. Learn it deeply, practice it consistently. Eventually, your work will speak louder than any credential ever could. The most memorable individuals in history didn't follow existing roads. They created new ones by honoring their unique vision. Why shouldn't you be next? Thank you for experiencing this story from the Inspiriy Tales. If this narrative resonated with you, share it with someone searching for their path and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.